Hey, welcome back to Everyday Money. Today we're going to be getting into the secrets that the rich use to stay rich and how you can use them to become and remain wealthy over time. So a lot of people, when they see wealthy folks, they think that they have some sort of secret that they're using or some sort of code, or they know something behind the curtain or whatever to get and maintain their wealth. And the thing is that it's not really that big of a secret. They're pretty well-known items, and it's just most people don't have the self-discipline to put those into effect and to make their lives what they would like to see them be. So when you're looking at the secrets that the rich use to stay rich, one of the biggest ones that they use is just simply living below their means. And while it may look like they have an opulent lifestyle with expensive cars and expensive homes and toys and trips and things of that nature, they're consciously living below their means. They could not accumulate a large amount of wealth by living at or above their means. And this is something that anyone can institute in their life right now. No matter if you make $30,000 or $30 million, you need to live below your means in order to have some of your money left over in order to save and invest. Because, for example, the guy that you see going by on the $1 million boat and you're like, wow, it must be awesome to be that guy. He's not making $900,000 and then financing $1 million boat. I'm talking about the truly rich here, not the people that are credit rich, and look like they have a lot of money. I'm talking about the truly rich here. The guy in that $1 million boat might make $3, $4, $5, $10 million a year through various, activities, investments, things of that nature. But the people that get rich and stay rich and continue to grow their wealth over their entire lifetimes always live below their means, no matter what their income level is. The second thing that these folks do is they don't save money for the most part. They invest money, because saved money just sits around and rots away to the effects of inflation, and it doesn't do anything for you but lose value over time. They invest their money all the time, and then they take any proceeds from those investments and they reinvest them so that that compound interest can continue to work for them to grow their wealth bigger and bigger. This is how the wealthy get ultra wealthy. For example, Tesla was just listed on the S&P 500, and the headline was that Elon Musk makes $15 billion from the stock value increase. And that's all in investments that he invested in the business. Then he's paid in stock, and then when that stock goes up in value, his money grows, and he doesn't have to actually do anything just by getting listed on the S&P 500 and the price of the stock going up. He made more than probably everyone that watches this video plus me will make in their entire lifetimes, and that is the power of investments. The third secret that the rich use to stay rich is that they don't typically trade time for money. And by this I mean they don't have jobs that pay by the hour. Because the one thing that's wrong with a job that pays by the hour is there are only so many hours that you can trade in your day in order to get money. And that's, I don't care if you're making $20, $30, $50, $100 an hour, there's always a cap limit of how many hours in a day you can realistically trade for money. What these guys do is they get paid for results. So this might be a salary that has performance bonuses attached to it, or that it might go up by a specific amount in their contract if they meet certain things, in the fiscal year or whatever. It might be that they get paid by commission for sales. For example, stockbrokers, the more stocks they sell, the more commission they make. Real estate agents, the more real estate they sell, the more commission that they make. They don't typically take on work where they trade their time for money. However, there are a few exceptions to this, and these are folks that trade their time for large sums of money. For example, attorneys is one of the biggest ones that I can think of. if you ever go to an attorney, you're probably going to get charged well over $100 an hour for their time. And anything from them picking up the phone to meeting with you is going to be on the clock, and it's going to be charged at a large dollar amount. Another thing or set of work that is actually charged at a fairly high dollar amount are skilled tradespeople, such as like plumbers, mechanics, HVAC technicians, things of that nature, especially the owner of the business. The actual person may not get that many dollars per hour, but the business and therefore the business owner might charge $80 to $150 an hour or more, depending on where your location is. Also, in this income secret, the rich have multiple streams of income. They don't rely on one job or one investment or one anything. They might have a salary job, but then they also have investments that are throwing off cash. And they might also be investing in real estate that's throwing off cash. They may have a pension that brings them some money. They might be investing in other businesses, maybe being silent partners in other businesses that drive cash to them. But they're never reliant on just one single form of income to make or break them. And that's how they get rich, and that's how they stay rich, and that's how they weather the storms and remain rich throughout their entire lives. The fourth secret that the rich use to stay rich is that they are taxed on a different tax system than you and I. And there's no reason that you can't use this tax system. It's just that you have to have income from the right sources to use it. I'm talking about long-term capital gains versus ordinary income tax. When you work your 9-to-5 job, you are taxed on an ordinary income basis. And that's your typical tax brackets that folks talk about. Those go up to 37% right now as of November 2020, and there's talk of increasing the top tax rate to 39.6 as it's been in the past, and it has been much higher than that. However, long-term capital gains, which is gains made on investments, are taxed at much lower rates. And when I say gains made on investments, you have to have held this investment for longer than 1 year. The top rate on long-term capital gains is 20%, but it goes down to as low as 0% depending on what your income level is. So instead of these folks getting all or some of their income from ordinary income, they get a good portion of their income from long-term capital gains, such as the sale of real estate that they've held for over a year, the sale of stocks that they've held for over a year. Things of that nature that are taxed at a much lower rate than typical income. This is where you start hearing about CEOs of companies being taxed at a lower percentage rate than their secretary, for example, because their secretary may make all of their income in the ordinary income bracket, and this CEO or investment manager or whatever might make all of his income in the long-term capital gains, and he has more deductions possibly than the secretary, and he ends up paying a lower percentage, not necessarily a lower tax bill total, but a lower percentage than his secretary. The last secret that the rich use to get and stay rich is that they just have a different mindset than most folks have. They have a long-term delayed gratification mindset where they are willing to put in hard work and money and effort into something up front that will allow them to reap the rewards several years down the road, but in a massive way. They're not thinking about a 2 or 3 or 4% raise. They're thinking about increasing their income 100% or 200% or 1,000%. And they're willing to put in the work and put in the effort because it will be difficult, because it will be a different path than everyone else, and it will not be comfortable. And if there's one thing I can say is that comfort is the enemy to most progress. But they have that mindset that most other people don't have because they're worried about the next paycheck, the next raise, little things that won't add up to a ton of effect in the end. If you guys like this video, be sure to subscribe to this channel to grow your wealth, increase your success, put you on the road to financial freedom. I'd appreciate it if you smash the like button, and I appreciate you guys watching today. I hope you guys can take some of these secrets that the rich use to get and stay rich that aren't really secrets. It's just you have to have the self-discipline to put them in your head and put them to use for you in your life. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.